Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and BORSOG Trader. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 2.58% to 21,303. Ethereum up 8.15% to 1229. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. What we've just done together is a quick run through on the crypto market. We do this each and every day. It helps you to see patterns. It helps you to see what is going on. It's incredibly valuable information and you can refer back to it in the future. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. You can reach out to an ambassador through this link and get 80% off, the tax software I use, and you can always directly message me on Twitter at any time. Crypto technical analysts scientifically track investor attention, and that's measured by price, which is reality and not future promises. The first thing we do is to mark up our charts so that we can understand the exponential nature of price action using the CTKS method. We then collect probabilities and check world events, checking the stock markets through looking at the trends. Then we pop back into the crypto market and check the market's focus, understanding that, like in life, opportunities reset daily. But before we buy or we sell, we have to have a real wealth and positive excellence focus. This is to fight the two greatest enemies that every investor and trader will ever face, and we face them in life as well. That's self-doubt and self-sabotage. And then there's a smorgasbord of ways to buy and sell that just basically suit your personality. Our community subscribes to positive excellence and maintaining real wealth foundations. It may seem kind of strange that a trading channel, which is all about trading, says, okay, we've got a certain mindset component here, but after 3 decades in the market, I can't tell you how important this is. Don't worry about money. Money follows good fundamentals. With kindness, authenticity, integrity, decency, inner and outer peace, courage and honor, strength and boundaries, the money will flow to you and you'll be in control of your emotional state. I'd just like to let you know that I released a new video on BORSOG Trader. BORSOG Trader is helping you better time market entries and exits. I just released the 3rd video, episode 3, how I made 10% profit in under 1 day on NKN. And if I can do it, you can do it. And that's the whole focus of BORSOG Trader. The link to BORSOG Trader is in the description of this video. Rule 225, Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. What do we notice in the main market? The VIX fell down, and this is the fear gauge of the market. This is really good because when the fear comes down, what do prices do? It's just like in our beautiful beloved crypto market. Fear down, price up. Fear up, price down. So it's really looking good, and we saw the Nasdaq 100 doing very well. Please bear in mind that there's a level of resistance that price is coming up to in that major index. We could see a little bit of wobbling occurring, but that's been a pretty straight shot up. And what is Bitcoin doing? Look at that. It's being pulled up by the gravity of the stock market. This is really important to understand. There exists a directional correlation at the present time between the major US indices and Bitcoin. Don't think that it will be there forever. It is generally there, but they can correlate and decorrelate. So that's what you need to keep your mind open to, the possibility that they won't move together. And let's have a look at bond prices. They retrace. Bond yields went up because of the inverse relationship between bond prices and bond yields. What has gold done? Gold measures geopolitical risk and it's still under resistance. How about the dollar? What's the dollar up to? The dollar bypassed one level of resistance, but it's still under another one. It's basing at the moment. So we'll just see how the dollar goes. From a technical perspective, the dollar is still under selling pressure because it's under this resistance. If you were to draw a line down here, the dollar is under it. And generally that's fairly positive for crypto. There is always a phasing and dephasing of different things, so you need to bear that in mind. Let's have a look at oil. Oil has come down, it's hit a level of support and bounced up. Price is always moving in a wave. Is this sufficient to actually change the course of oil's direction? Possibly. It's really, really early and a little bit difficult to tell. Let's have a look at the put-call ratio. And this basically just measures the amount of negative sentiment inside the market. We can see those averages curling over. This is kind of like the fear gauge. So the put-call ratio is pretty cool. And when we look at junk bonds, we can see junk bonds are improving. There's a very good relationship between the directional movement of junk bonds and the directional movement of the major indices. And we know the major indices also influence Bitcoin. So this is really good to keep your eye on. As we enter the weekend, please let me know, what do you think will happen to Bitcoin across the weekend, given what is happening in the main markets? We're seeing some really, really good positive developments here. When we compare Bitcoin compared to inflation, notice that generally when the US indices rally up, we get a kick up in the inflation rate. We haven't actually got that. We've got an inversing. This is really good. This is incredibly positive. And you'll note that the Fed balance sheet actually has gone up. The Fed has talked about that they're going to reduce their balance sheet. The actuality is the Fed balance sheet actually has increased over the past month. So these are really, really good things to keep your eye on. A lot of people are really worried about the annual inflation rate. What we're seeing here with the 10-year and 5-year break-even inflation rate going down, we could very well see a downtick in the annual inflation rate. Does this mean it's hit the top? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but the concept is this is really, really positive from a probabilistic perspective. And why is it good? If the Fed doesn't have to tighten as aggressively, doesn't have to raise interest rates as aggressively, and the market looks after it, of course, that's better all around. And that puts a degree of risk back on the table. And that's really good for Bitcoin and crypto. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. As a trading community, we really love to see extreme fear in the market. Why do we love this? Because it actually shows that sellers are leaving the market. When you have a lot of extreme fear inside any particular market, it basically means that the sellers have run out of steam. And this is great because you tend to see reflections like this or bounces. If they're maintained or not will be determined over time, but typically this level of extreme fear is incredibly good for trading, and it's definitely a trader's market in the crypto space. Looking at Bitcoin options, it's really interesting that we saw yesterday that Bitcoin's max pain was 29,000. It's currently 21,000. It dropped by 8,000. It didn't get up there at all. Naughty Bitcoin. And we can actually see that the max pain for tomorrow has increased from 20,500 by 500 up to 21,000. This is pretty interesting. So we're seeing a bit of a flat line. The options market is indicating that we may trade horizontally through the weekend. But of course, what we do is that we just stack all of these probabilities together. The market rewards the stacking of probabilities, and that's what you need to focus on. And Masterclass students, you will receive this live chart in lesson TG34. When we look at the NASDAQ 100, what are we seeing? This close correlation, directional correlation between the NASDAQ and Bitcoin's price. And what is it showing? There's a lot of momentum behind the NASDAQ's current price action. Terrific. We want that to come across to the crypto market. And it is. So far, so good. It's following the NASDAQ. This could be a fairly good sign as we enter the weekend to know that the options market is predicting basically flat or horizontal movement. We can see that Bitcoin is slowly getting above this resistance level. And that resistance level right now would play in at about 21,077. The current price is 21,323, so that's not a bad thing. And we can see that we've seen a lot of obeying of this particular resistance line. Now that resistance line will kick in around the current price action at say 22,000. So if we get over 22,200, that's looking really fantastic for the crypto market. Excellent. This is already positive that we're trying to get above this diagonal downward sloping resistance line, and it's trying to turn it into support at the moment. There's a lot of fairly positive developments, but we always have to keep an open mind. This particular price action has come up quite a degree. It will need some degree of consolidation, but also there's a lot of horizontal resistance here. Now, what happens when we get through that horizontal resistance? And we know the long-term outlook for Bitcoin and crypto is just incredible. So what will happen? When the sellers run out of steam, there will only be buyers in the market, so we could see an exponential leg up. But we don't ever have fear of missing out, FOMO, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt, because we realize that making decisions based on fear is not within our best interests. What do we see happening with the longs and the shorts? The shorts are measured in this red line, and the longs are measured in this green line. The longs are coming up, but they're kind of starting to run out of a bit of steam here. The shorts are actually coming down, but it remains to be seen if the shorts will kick up. There's a quite interesting stalemate kind of going on at the moment, but let's check liquidations, because this tends to give us a bit of a feeling as to what side is actually dominating the other. And it's really a symbiotic relationship. The shorts come in to chill things out. They're like, hey man, chill out. And the longs are like, oh no, I'm going to heat things up. I'm going to party. So the longs are all about partying and the shorts are all about chilling out. In the past 24 hours, there's been nearly 200 million in liquidations across nearly 70,000 positions. And when we look at total liquidations across the past 24 hours, around 73% has been short. What about the last 12 hours? Nearly 75% short. The last 4 hours, nearly 89% short. And the last hour, nearly 95% short. The poor old shorts are really not doing too well at the moment. And when we look at the longs and shorts over time, we can see the majority of liquidations just at the present time has been short. It is for today, it was for yesterday, and the day before the longs grabbed it, and the shorts the day before, and the shorts the day before, and the shorts the day before, and the longs the day before that. So you can see there's always this chilling out and heating up happening. What we don't do inside our community is leverage trade. Of course, you can do it if you're a professional, no problem, because you know the rules of the market. But it often takes a little while to understand how to move with the market's momentum. If you're going long or you're going short, it frequently will work against you because unfortunately there's just so much massive volatility inside the crypto market. It's unlike any other market on the planet, and that's what makes it really fun. No matter what you do, you have to make in advance probabilistic decisions and choices. What will you do if a trade or your entire portfolio goes in your direction? Yeah, it's a good problem to have, but what will you do? What will happen if your trade or portfolio goes against you? What will you do? And if it just goes flat and goes sideways and gets really boring, what will you do? These sound like really academic questions, and a lot of people treat them as such until they're in enormous pain. Please let me know in the comments, where do you think Bitcoin will be headed to across the weekend? It's good to actually look at the longs and the shorts and NASDAQ and all sorts of things and the technical setup in the market. It will really help you to stack probabilities, and that's realistically what it's all about. In this particular video, I'm going to zoom out to the 4 hour because I want to show you which particular cryptos are rocking and rolling and which ones are lagging a bit. When you look at Bitcoin's relative price action, this is really important to note that we had a big sell-off followed by a little bit of a blip and another sell-off followed by getting back to a level of resistance. How does this actually equate to, for example, Ethereum? You can see Ethereum is much stronger than Bitcoin. What about Binance Coin? Much stronger. This is why we love alts. Alts are absolutely awesome. What about XRP? Look at that. XRP is literally under this resistance. If you said, hey, XRP, what do you look like if you were Bitcoin? It would be up here, just around there, like literally 28,600. So just get a very relative concept between your alt and Bitcoin. It's really good to do. What about ADA? You note that ADA had a different pattern than Bitcoin. It sold off dramatically or traumatically, came back up because it was pulled up by Bitcoin's gravity and then came down with Bitcoin. And you can see it's around that particular level where Bitcoin is at the moment. What about Solana? Solana is rocketing. Wow, go Solana. What about Doge? Doge is absolutely bolting out the gate. What about DOT? DOT is coming up. This is a really good way to understand how Bitcoin's gravity will impact different alts. And of course, we expect the alts to do better than Bitcoin. As Bitcoin goes up, we expect the alts to outperform. As Bitcoin comes down, we expect the alts to outperform as well, but not in a good way. And I'm so happy for all the people who have done really well in the markets. And many students have reached out and shared their trades, as well as community members. And I'm just so absolutely thrilled for you. We've seen a great rallying inside the crypto market. And what typically happens, retail investors and traders tend to just take to the streets, take to the hills when price comes down, just like this cartoon is representing. But hang on a sec, price is going up. How is it doing that? All of retail has left the building because the silent institutions, the silent smart money is coming in and buying. Because there's no selling pressure, they're buying and forcing price up. Now, what actually happens? The best songs are on the dance floor when the dance floor is empty. Now, what we see here is retail is getting attracted back in because they want a sense of certainty. They want to know the price is going up. We don't really care about certainty. We just look at the probabilities. It depends on stacking them, seeing what is actually going on, seeing things are overheated or chilled out too much. And often retail will get into the wrong synchronization with the market and look, price is coming back up again. I really feel very sorry for retail, and that's why I do absolutely my best to share my 3 decades plus of experience. It takes a long time to step in when price is melting through the floor. And that's what BORSOG Trader is all about. I started BORSOG Trader because as price came down, I wanted to show people that you can make profit. So I'll be sharing so many trades with you on BORSOG Trader that were done in this period of time, and they're profitable. Yesterday's video talked about personal growth, and there were some brilliant comments as always. Nenad said, I think we embrace reality through emotional mastery and gain personal growth. Flamingo said something really prophetic, and it's very important to understand. As you get older, things like this really make sense. If you are the same person emotionally, spiritually, etc. at 50 as you were when you were 20, then you just wasted 30 years of your life. That's actually really important. By embracing growth, you actually become a better version of yourself. Flamingo goes on to say, personal growth is all about learning, and from that learning, evolving into your best self. We all screw up, and it can be painful, but as long as we learn the lesson, we won't repeat the same mistakes. A lot of people, Earth can be a tough school, absolutely, Flamingo, totally. But the concept is there are no mistakes in life. It's just learning. A lot of people feel and take it very, very personally. They think that when something didn't go their way, they caused it. No, it's not like that. It's just all about learning. It's life reflecting back to us a better path. But so many people say, I'm not taking that path. I'm not taking that path because I feel bad. And what you will find in trading and investing, it's just you and the market. It's no one else, just you and the market. You're the only one who buys and you're the only one who can sell. So it's really important to grow personally. Flamingo also said, sometimes the lessons are tough, and in Earth School, they are really tough, but they're there for your ultimate benefit. It depends how you look at the lesson. But acknowledging our mistakes, learning from them, and doing better is a part of life. Badger said, we live and learn, and like a fine wine, we get better with time. Wow, that's really prophetic. And also profitable. Let's have a look at some more cryptos, and don't forget we're actually on the 4 hour. We've zoomed out. Look at Tron. Tron has realigned with Bitcoin's gravity when we had that sell-off and is recovering as well. Sometimes it's really good to just contextualize what is happening with a specific crypto against the market. But that is a really, really interesting pattern. SHIB has done incredibly well. Look at that. It's just blasting away. It would be really up high in comparison to Bitcoin's gravity. That's putting in a heck of a rebound. When we look at AVAX is under what SHIB is, for example. And look at Matic. Matic's sharp angles reflect, but they can take time to reflect. And of course, if the fundamentals are there. Let's have a look at Uni. This is why you always must do your own research and know the risks. Uni, let's have a look at Uni. Uni is doing really well. It's almost cleared that top level resistance. What about Litecoin? Litecoin is doing well. What about FTT? Doing well as well. And Chainlink also doing well. The entire crypto market is doing well. But remember, there aren't too many people on the dance floor because the song got really, really wonky there. And a lot of people left because of the extreme fear. But fearless people remained, and they've actually participated in this profit. So is it a mistake to not be in the market at this present point of time? Absolutely not. There are no mistakes in life, and it's important to depersonalize things. Oscar said, personal growth is updating a mental model of the world and acting in accordance with the new model. It's a really good point. When updating a mental model, we lose the certainty associated with the old model. At the same time, the new pattern of action is unfamiliar. Until we have new routines, this new pattern of action requires more attention than our old ways. That loss of certainty combined with the extra required attention is why we perceive personal growth to be hard. But over time we develop new routines and gain new certainty, and that is when the episode of personal growth is complete and we can move on to the next lesson. As a useful question to reflect, where are you currently adjusting to a new pattern of behavior, and what new routines could help you with it? Just beautiful. Very nice, Oscar. Financial markets can be really, really tricky because they're always changing in character. They're familiar and then they become unfamiliar and then they change again. And actually knowing this will help you incredibly. Of course, you get into the market to make money, so you need certainty that you will be successful. But that's not the kind of certainty that we talk about. When we look at the market, things correlate and decorrelate. They go in phase and out of phase. It's more like just being a really, really good detective, keeping your eye on the prize. Of course, that you will be successful, but the concept is collect your facts and data on the way through and you'll get there far, far more quickly. Again, on the 4 hour, we can see Stellar doing really quite well, and Near also coming up. We're seeing a broad-based rally inside the crypto market at the present time. So Atom, Cosmos is doing really well as well. Algo doing well. And we can see Bitcoin Cash not doing that great at all. It's probably one of the weakest. And it's actually weaker than Bitcoin at the current time. Ethereum Classic not doing too badly. VET also doing well. And Decentraland, Mana, also doing well, coming up to a level of resistance at the present time. Congratulations to CryptoTurtle. I had a few BORSOG trades that went really well today. Well done, my friend, and well done to all in the community who've been doing really well. That's fantastic. CryptoTurtle says, talk about personal growth. I would like to say, since I followed your channel, my life has become better and better every day. The Masterclass has a lot of hidden knowledge for self-development plus trading skills for life. But it is me in the market, which is forever changing. It's a forever changing environment. To be a better trader, I must adapt each day to the market. Really well said, CryptoTurtle. And we have a very loving and kind community. You can see that all of our family members just reach out and say, well done, fantastic. There is no scarcity. That's a really important thing to embrace. There's only abundance. Let's keep on looking through the top cryptos. We can see Flow staging a bit of a bounce up over resistance. And what about HBAR? Not looking too bad. I think there's a bit of room to grow if the positive momentum continues. ICP bouncing rather nicely. EGLD doing really well, and you can see the difference between the strength of Bitcoin and the alts. This is why we love the alts. When Bitcoin is selling down, youch, the alts can really hurt. But when Bitcoin is staging an upward momentum shift, wow, the alts are our best friends. Ape, not doing too badly. And we can see Sand, much, much more powerful than Ape at the current time. Theta also doing well. Note this pattern, and this is why I actually zoom out to the 4 hour. I want to give you a deeper context of how things are happening. Theta is getting above resistance that was established back on the 10th of May. Not bad if it can break through it, but note there will be a lot of sellers trying to push Theta down. And sometimes you get this override, which is really, really interesting to look at individual and specific charts. Tezos doing really quite well. Thank you also very much to Art. How do we learn to embrace reality through personal growth? Currently, there are a lot of people who are in panic about the markets and their portfolio, so much so that they will exit the market mentally because they let their emotions take over and they let their fear rule, or they just shut down. I know this because I've been there more than once. And Art and myself have been in the markets for decades and decades. This is just a natural part of action. Until you understand what's actually happening with the market and you create strategies to deal with it. Art goes on to say, when I finally pulled my head out of the sand, the market had already turned to the upside and left me behind. And it's really good that you raise that, Art. It's just exactly like the cartoon. That's why I showed that cartoon, because it has so much hidden wisdom in it. What I learned is that in times like this, I need to be even more in tune with the market. I learned to look at the current reality with no emotion. What Art's saying is no fear. Not that no emotion, but just no fear. And this is a really, really important way to look at the market. When we don't care about certainty, it must go up, or it must go down, or it must go sideways, but we just stack probabilities. That's fantastic, because remember, personal growth is always challenging your level of certainty. And as you grow, your level of certainty will be continuously challenged. If you hold on to certainty, well, that's not too good, because it means you're getting stuck. The market is what it is, no matter what, and what my emotions are doing, be them positive or negative. The market will punish fear, so we have to learn to be fearless and recognize that when the fear index is at historic lows, there won't be many sellers left, and the price has no choice but to go up. Spot on art, just like that cartoon. It's probably going to be a bumpy ride, and I think it will be a bumpy ride, but traders love bumpy rides because we can BORSOG. Let's have a look at some more top cryptos. We can see Filecoin, just basically following Bitcoin's gravity at the moment. HNT, much stronger. Very interesting look. Axie Infinity, look at that rally that it's put in. EOS, a little bit more subdued. Maker, doing quite well. Just shooting up over that resistance at 947. Aave, just consolidating. Maybe we'll get a shoot up like this. Remember that we just have to stack probabilities, and you must make your three-dimensional decisions. If you were getting into Aave, and I don't suggest you get into any of these particular cryptos, you must do your own research. But if you do get into one, have your three-way strategy. What if price just waves down? What would you do? If it just goes flat, what would you do? Or if it goes up, what would you do? You have to have answers for those three questions at all times. It's just what professionals do. IOTA, doing really well. And what about the graph? Doing well also. We've talked a lot about personal growth, and you can see by the incredible insightfulness of our beloved family members that there are always choices to be made. The choice is to deal with something in a constructive or destructive manner. Because when we get a disappointment or a setback or a problem, it's easy to fall into anger, to look for an enemy to blame, to feel anxiety and feel the world is unkind and hostile and what's it doing this to me for? And to get bitter and angry and get into conflict. And that disempowers you, because outer conflict is just a reflection of the inner conflict that's going on because of this anxiety and blame. When we blame another person, we completely lose our capability to control the outcome. It's a very nasty place to be. Negative image reinforcement. Oh, I can't do this. And people get jealous and they even hate. They have resentment for others who are succeeding. And this is not what we want, because it's a very problematic place to exist in. Self-sabotage is the end result. And what I've always said, self-doubt and self-sabotage are natural things that we must combat inside the market. Self-sabotage can be, oh, I knew it wouldn't work out. I just can't do anything right. I never succeed. And that just weakens a person and adds to suffering. You don't want to add to your own suffering. So how do we get out of this normal? This is really normal. This is not abnormal. This is where the majority of people exist. So how do we get away from that? Because it costs us money as investors and traders. That's why we need to get out of it. If it was costless, who cares? But it costs us a lot. So we can contextualize things. We can say, well, the rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. So everybody gets disappointments and setbacks and problems. Everybody will be denied something that they want. So how do we deal with it? We deal with it with constructive processes. We have compassion for ourselves. We depersonalize the lesson. We push it away from ourselves and we say, okay, I let go of the fact that I didn't get what I want. What is the lesson in here? What can I learn? And that advances people. When they know better, they do better. And that creates inner peace. One thing that often happens when you have inner peace, you have a perspective that the world is a kind place. It can be harsh. The lessons of the world can be really difficult, but you see overall that people are good. If you have inner conflict and you think the world is unkind and people are hostile, you're going to act in a completely different manner and go down this red path. So what are we doing when we go down the green? We just depersonalize it. We let it go. We look for the lesson, and that empowers us. We do the analysis and strategy. We do the learning to empower ourselves, and therefore we can have outer peace, not outer conflict. And we get a positive image reinforcement. It's like, I can do this. I can beat this. No problem can beat me. And that's the attitude we need to have in investing and trading. And it can create a lot of gratitude and kindness and love. You can see why positive excellence is so important. I talk a lot about being kind because it's the opposite of going down this destructive, resentful path that many people just default to. And it's easy to default to that path, no question. But it's the path of self-sabotage. Going down this green path actually increases your self-worth because you're learning lessons and your lessons aren't getting increasingly expensive in cost. You can say, I got this, I'm stronger. It's just like Flamingo said, if you're the same person as you were decades and decades ago, what it means is that you're bypassing a lot of strength and a lot of happiness. We go down the red path to be weakened and suffer. We go down the green path to be strengthened and find happiness. And always understand, the person who says they can or cannot are both correct. This person says they can, this person says they cannot, and they're both correct. I would also suggest that the best path to walk in terms of your profitability is the green path. Absolutely. And it's something that all people inside financial markets are forced to do if they stick with it and don't leave the dance floor. In the comments section, you might like to talk about those two choices and which things have helped you to walk down one path, down the positive path and away from the negative path. Because it's really important, not for other people, it's important for yourself, your happiness in this world, and we all want to be happy, but we can't be happy if we walk down that red path. Being happy is like walking on the grass, it's the green path. And please let me know your thoughts. Where do you think Bitcoin is headed? Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. I've noticed an incredible uptick in scamming behavior recently. The scammers are getting desperate because a lot of people have left the crypto dance floor. So they're reaching out to people and talking about yields and farming. Just be really careful. From a personal perspective, I have all my money just for trading. Because when you think about that you can earn so much from just going in and out of positions, it's really attractive. Thank you very much to the CTKS ambassadors for assisting Masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Yes, I promise to take 1 day off every 4 years. Please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use, and links to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please seek out an ambassador to get 80% off, but use the links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenario. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now and have a great weekend.